Honourable Minister, Ministry of Power, Energy and Mineral Resources, Members of Parliament, Ambassadors and High Commissioners, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, wishing all of you a very good afternoon. It is my pleasure to welcome you all in the Policy Roundtable titled Navigating Global Shifts, Fostering Energy Security and Resilience in Bangladesh, organized by Bangladesh Institute of Peace and Security Studies, BIPSS. Today we are honored to have with us His Excellency Iqbal Hassan Mahmood MP, Honourable Minister for Power, Energy and Mineral Resources, as the keynote speaker for this roundtable. We are sincerely grateful to the Honourable Minister for taking the time to join us and share his valuable insights with us today. The session will be moderated by Major General A.N.M. Muniruzzaman, NDC PSC retired, President of BIPSS. Now I'd like to request the moderator to continue with the rest of the session. Thank you.
Thank you. Honourable Minister, His Excellency Iqbal Hassan Mahmood, MP. It's a privilege to have you here today in this afternoon to talk about a very important issue. And it's also my privilege to introduce the subject to you. Traditionally, energy was viewed merely as a utility. Today, in the complex strategic environment of the 21st century, energy security is linked to macroeconomic stability, fiscal sustainability, and ultimately, and most importantly, national security. We are currently navigating a highly volatile international landscape. Recent structural shocks from the extreme volatility in LNG spot prices following the conflict in Ukraine and the renewed tension in the Middle East, threatening critical maritime choke points like the Straits of Hormuz, have starkly exposed the fragility of the global supply chain. For a rapidly growing economy like ours, which relies heavily on important fossil fuel, these external disruptions translate directly into fiscal strain, inflationary pressures, and industrial vulnerability. Domestically, Bangladesh stands at a critical juncture as we prepare to graduate from least developed country and transition into an industrial base towards a high-value production. Our current energy model is being severely tested. Our domestic natural gas reserves are depleting, pushing us towards a heavier reliance on imported LNG and coal, coupled with the escalating impacts of climate change, where erratic weather puts further pressure on energy consumption. The solution requires a conceptual shift from a merely energy procurement to energy sovereignty, the capacity to secure reliable, sustainable power with minimal exposure to external geopolitical friction. Achieving this resilience framework demands a multi-pronged approach, and that is accelerating domestic renewable, deepening regional integration, going into regional and sub-regional grids, modernizing policy frameworks are only some of the few. In an era defined by global uncertainty, securing our energy future is not just an economic target, it's a strategic imperative. By building a diversified, domestically anchored, and regionally integrated energy system, we can insulate Bangladesh from external shocks and power our continued trajectory towards prosperous and a sovereign energy future. And that is the goal we think is the path Bangladesh will take. With that brief introduction, I would now have the honor to hand over the floor to our honorable speaker this afternoon, the Minister. Sir, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Muniruzzaman. Distinguished guest, Assalamu alaikum. The subject we are discussing today is very important for any country's development. And Bangladesh, there was a time when we used to think that we are floating in gas. But today, yeah, we are really short of gas. And alternatively, we have based now on LNG, LPG, other fossil fuel import. The problem is now this Hormuz. The prices of the gas and other fossil fuel has gone up. To meet this demand, in our last 6 months, we have imported about $3.65 billion of fuel, which is definitely a big pressure on our national exchequer. You know, our power system is based on gas. We have got small hydro, and now we are depending on the coal. And all of this energy is imported. It's a large regime. They have given private generation. There are many generation power stations are sitting idle because we don't have gas. And we are paying the charges without producing any gas, electricity. Coal is operating, and that is one of the very cheap power. Otherwise, other power are very expensive. We are using LNG for natural gas, and that is also, transportation has become a big problem. We have got only 2 FSRO. Unfortunately, about a week back, there was a fire in one FSRO. Thank God that that fire was not very fatal, but it has supposed to be fatal. They are now repairing. Now there is a big short of gas in Bangladesh, and everybody is complaining that there is no pressure in their kitchen. That is due to, we have got 2 cargo waiting, but we cannot discharge because of that FSRO. So that is another problem, that we cannot run our power station also. So now we have focused our government's activity that we should go for renewable energy. And throughout the world, renewable energy, everybody is pushing for renewable energy. Even in our governments, they have stipulated that there should be at least 30% of renewable energy used in the government factory till up to 2030. So we have recently declared a policy of renewable energy, and our government target is 10,000 megawatt in these 5 years. It's very challenging, but I think if we are focused, then we can do it. And this policy, we have said that cluster basis and also for the grid. The rooftop solar, and nowadays we can get high power battery. If we charge the battery during the daytime, then we can use that battery for 3 to 4 hours at night. That will reduce the pressure on our fossil fuel power. and also pressure on our import. So this rooftop solar, we are planning that it should be private to private. We'll invite the private investor and we'll discuss with, negotiate with them with the price, and then they will give them the area. Maybe in Dhaka, we can divide in 4 or 5 areas. The investor will put the solar panel on the rooftop, and at the end of the month, they can take money with the net meter. It is possible because I think it's practical also. You see this cable people and this Wi-Fi people, they are giving the service to the households and they are getting their revenue back. So if we go for P2P and house to house, any investor can easily get back their money with the profit. That is one side we are trying, and we are trying another side, the big one, which will be connected with the grid. The problem is, our problem has become financial problem. The last government left behind 56,000 crore taka unpaid bill to the private power station owners. Plus, and we are also paying daily bills. And these are based basically on the subsidy. So every month we are using our subsidy to pay these bills. That's why we are trying to go for the cluster basis first, then big one, which will go to the grid. And we have, we'll be giving our land. The investor who will come with the investment, he will set up this solar panel, and he will PGCB will take it as a wheeler. So this is the plan we are moving on, and I think the activity on this will start within this August. We'll finish the negotiation and we'll allocate people the land and the area for the rooftop. I believe that if we can achieve our goal, 10,000 megawatt in 5 years, then our life will be a little bit easy in this sector. Now we are struggling, badly struggling. After this FSRO fire, we cannot supply gas now. And without gas, nothing can move. Particularly our industry, particularly our garment industry is suffering. Accident is accident. And this FSRO in the middle of the sea, where the corrosion is very high. And that is, I think, the reason why they had fire. It will take another 10 days, 15 days to come back in operation. Then the life for the gas will be a little bit easy. So I'm here to discuss with you and take suggestions. This is a big problem, and we have to bail out this problem very fast. We cannot wait 5 years. We have to do it in 1 or 2 years' time so that our industries and everything comes back and we have good growth. So this is the scenario of today's energy sector. I think I finish it here. Then after the discussion, I will again come back with your answers. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And the Honourable Minister has agreed to take some questions from the floor. So I now open the floor for your questions and comments. Please indicate to me if you want to ask a question. I shall give you the floor. Yes, Ambassador Shahid. Please wait for the microphone to reach you.
Thank you. Thank you, Honourable Minister. I think you have given excellent démarche on the present scenario of our energy and how we are facing, and the pressure, tremendous pressure upon your shoulders. But I think I have one or two small questions. The question goes that at the birth of Bangladesh, as you rightly said, it was picturized that country is floating on gas, maybe because I was associated with that organization also for a short period, so I can say that. And then most of these big companies moved away. And we have been watching and waiting that these companies are under negotiations. Whereas, I'll not go in detail in that, and you know about what I'm talking about. Our neighboring countries in the neighborhood, whether it's Myanmar or whether it's other countries, they have done a lot of exploration, and in the same waters, they have explored a lot of gases, and this gas is going to third countries also. There was an opportunity where we could get some gas from Myanmar. So are you going to look into that area also, or mainly concentrating on the renewable energy? What is happening in our nuclear energy sector? We would like to learn more about this, because so this is my question to you, because we have been seeing in the media a lot of news emerging in the media from time to time, and that confuses us. And when you say that it will take another 10 days or more to resolve this issue, is there any way where temporarily we can resolve this matter, or other than this we cannot do anything? This is my question to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador Shahid. Next question is Aisha Kabir from Prothamalo.
Thank you and Assalamu alaikum. I'd like to ask two brief questions. One is, already the gentleman mentioned nuclear power, about the nuclear power. What is the position of Rupur nuclear power plant? When do you think we can expect it, and the feasibility of the whole issue? And another question I want to ask is about regional power sharing. You know, whether we have good relations with Nepal, Bhutan and all. So there's been a lot of talk within the SAARC countries about regional power sharing. And so what can we expect from that in the future?
We shall take clusters of 3 questions at a time, then go back to the Minister to answer, and they can come back to the next cluster. So, Madam, you have the floor at the corner.
Thank you, Honourable Minister, for your speech and informing us that the government is keen to taking some initiatives to face the crisis. And one of the suggestions you mentioned about the solar energy. I mean, my point is that, sir, if the government is thinking about a big solar energy project, then they should also think about the environment. I mean, I work for Internews. We have a program called Earth Journalism Networks, and our journalists investigated and produced some very good reports about big solar projects in India. And they identified that those projects actually create huge water crisis in that places, because at what point those solar panels needs to be cleaned, that requires lot of water. And around that projects, the areas almost dried out. So if we are thinking about taking big solar projects in Bangladesh, we should also consider about the environmental impact. That is my point. Thank you.
Thank you. We shall go back to the Minister for his response. Sir.
I respond to the first question. Rupur Power, it's a huge project for us, and it is supposed to produce about 1200 megawatt of power. They are fueling from last June. And they told us that they will come to operation around August, September. And initially they will give us about 350 megawatt of power. But I think, trial and error and so nuclear power, it will come around October, November. The problem with this power, nuclear power, for nuclear power, I need captive power, standby power. So if they produce 300 megawatt, I'll have to keep a standby 300 megawatt power station. And for that, I need energy. If I go for fuel, then I have to buy petrol. If I go for gas, then I have to buy LNG. So there is extra cost there also. And also other things are there, that is a very complicated thing. But we are looking forward, and we are trying to, for wheeling, we are making transmission lines. I hope by the time they will come in operation, we can evacuate that from the power station. But the problem is the grid. The past government, they have, given power in multi-sources, like gas, coal, hydro was there, and nuclear. But our grid is not a smart grid, and it's not, I don't think, we have not upgraded our grid very properly. So I have been working for the last 6 months, so that at least they can take it, but it's not 100% proof, but they can take it. We are doing that kind of work now, and we have taken a program that, slowly we upgrade our grid system, and ultimately we have to go for smart grid system. That will take time. That is another problem with Rupur. And you mentioned that you are floating in gas. Unfortunately, last government did not hit any well, and BIPSS became redundant. After we took over, after we get the responsibility, we have already ordered 2 rigs, and we are using maximum BIPSS for onshore exploration. For offshore exploration, we have owned the sea. We have seen that, lighting and other thing for the winning the sea. But unfortunately, last 17 years, they have not gone to the sea to see what is under there. And today, this position, because of no exploration. If exploration is there, at least we could have hit 1 or 2 well. We could not do that. So we have gone for invitation for the international OICs for the because BIPSS cannot go sea. So I need the international OICs so that they can come and they can explore it. And hopefully in November we'll close this and we'll have people will sign contract and they'll go for the exploration in sea. And onshore also we are inviting foreign investments so that they can explore here also. And BIPSS is also exploring, and I hope we have got some positive result, seismic result, and one or two oil may get some gas. This is the position of the exploration. And renewable power. You see, renewable power, you are right, that we have to watch that panel. The advantage for Bangladesh is, we have a lot of rain. And with the rain, it can clean easily. And the rooftop also, if the rainy season is long, so it will be worse. And the period when we will not have rain, that I don't think much water will need, or there are a lot of chemicals now coming, we can wash with that. So that, the problem is the environmental problem will be to dispose of these batteries and the solar panels. That will be it. That we are making backup plans so that, it does not affect our environment. So these are my answer. And if you have any other answer, I can reply.
We'll now take another cluster of questions. First, Ambassador Shamim. There are three in a row, so we can start from the corner. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I start by thanking Honourable Minister for speaking to us on a very, very topical and critical issue. We are decidedly in a crunch, and in a crunch, I think we should look at every possible option. My issue is an old-fashioned one. We have been talking about wastage and pilferage. Now that our back is almost to the wall, does the government think about more seriously how to prevent wastage and pilferage so that it can help us? Thank you.
Thank you. Next person, yes.
Thank you, Chair. And thank you, Honourable Minister, for coming here and briefing us, although your briefing doesn't really portray a very heartening picture as regards the energy situation. Now, and interestingly, you have said all this before the representatives of the public news domain. I've got three short questions. I think I heard you in the course of your presentation saying that the government plan is to generate 10,000 megawatts of electricity. I mean, is the current shortage to that extent? And during the last political governance tenure, we used to hear that the Bangladesh has the capacity to generate 20,000 megawatts, including what could be done by the quick rental.
Now we have 28,000.
28,000. So why
but
do we
we
need
can produce 18,000 only.
18,000? So our requirement is about close to 30,000 or something. Yeah. And the other thing is, can you, Honourable Minister, tell us exactly estimated reserve of gas in Bangladesh? I mean, and if we often hear that we are floating in gas, abundance of gas, and what are the impediments or the problems? Is it technological know-how, capital? How much can it be harnessed by our local resources in terms of technology, our experts, gas experts? Thank you.
Thank you. Ambassador Kamru.
Honourable Minister, sir, this is your second time in the same ministry, so you know most of the issues related to our energy and powers.
18 years, 20 years is different now.
Sir, even then. So, sir, I have two questions. One is related to the nuclear power plant, and the other is related to gas exploration. We were given an impression that we need diversification of the sources of our electricity generation. And we are also focusing on which one is environmental friendly. So nuclear based power stations came from that angle, environmental friendly and from the point of diversification. Now, after the change of the government and also during the caretaker government, it gives a mixed feeling that are we going to abandon our nuclear-based power plants? Because at some point we were even thinking about going for the third and fourth unit. And at that time it was discussed that whether we should go for identical BVR 1200 again for third and fourth unit, or we go on clusters, 400 or 500 megawatt each, small, and then we'll connect them. And accordingly, we opened two undergraduate programs. One is in MIST and the other one is in Dhaka University, and a postgraduate program in Dhaka, BUET, so that we will have a continuous supply of technical persons. And we also trained around 80 Bangladeshi young professionals from the best nuclear university in Russia. They did their undergrad and postgraduate degrees. So this is an issue. Whether we are thinking about expanding our nuclear-based power plants. And the other one is gas exploration. BIPSS, they are always sidelined. My first degree is in engineering, so I know about some of those issues. And they were never given an opportunity, or whenever they expressed their intention to work in that field, the job was given to the foreign exploring companies. And Bhola gas field, it was started by BIPSS, but later on it was given to another party. And we are given again an impression that we had few trillion cubic feet of gas in Bhola area. And we don't know how far we have progressed in that area. These are my two questions.
Thank you.
First question was pilferage, wastage. You see, the wastage is our, energy history. Before, these power distribution companies, I said that this is not wastage, is a theft. When I took over first term, the system loss was about 12%. And I worked hard and I reduced to 9%. I left. When I came this time, they are saying me in paper 7%. But I don't think 7%, it's more than 7%, because my recovery and my balance sheet does not say that. So we are now trying to rethink about distribution. The distribution itself is not the business of a government, because you have to collect bill from house to house. And sitting in secretariat, I cannot control what they are doing in the ground. It's not humanly possible. If government produces and as a bulk sell, then the system loss will be much less than distribution. So we are working on privatizing the distribution companies to the private. And if you see our neighbor country, if you see Calcutta distribution is private. Goenka is running that. And Bombay, is Reliance, sorry, Bombay Dyeing. And Delhi, Delhi's system loss was 22%. And Delhi slowly gave it to private. I think Delhi is Adani. And now their system has come down to 4%. So taking the example from there, I think if we go for that, and we can save a lot of foreign exchange by saving a system loss. So that we are trying, we are working on that. It is difficult but not impossible. I'm trying hard for that. Gas reserve, I have not got correct picture yet. So that I cannot tell you. But that gas cannot service our country's demand now. So we have to depend for many years on LNGs. For LNG import, we are trying to increase the facilities. Land and deep sea FSROs, we are trying for that. The problem is long pipeline under the sea. You have to bring in the shore. That is a big problem, and also it's very expensive also. But these are investment will be from the private, not government. We will buy the service only. Investment will be done by the private companies. So we are working on that, and today we were negotiating with the Chinese company for third FSRO. So investors are coming, and the sign is very good. I think we will be able to do more. And atomic nuclear power. Nuclear power, you see, we never thought of abandoning this project. But this project is design is too big. So that's why I need a backup power. And that is also huge investment. And also cost of the fuel is very high. So what we are thinking that now the popular nuclear is SMR. So we are exploring SMR. If we get SMR, we are talking UK and China and other countries. If we can procure SMR, then we will put 4 or 5 SMR throughout the country so that we get clean energy. SMR is modular power reactor. Charge to maximum.
Small and medium reactor.
So this is what we are doing now, and we are only 6 months old. You see, we could not inventory. We could not do the inventory stock taking yet. So once it's done, then we can start our work. Thank you.
We'll take another cluster of questions. The first question is from the Honourable Chairman of the Parliamentary Committee on Foreign Affairs.
Thank you so much. Thank you, BIPSS, for organizing this timely discussion, and thank you so much to the Honourable Minister for discussing this so openly. I'm just reflecting on the overall situation. The moment the government took responsibility versus today, it's not even 180 days. But the challenges that we have faced, these are unprecedented challenges. No country in the world were prepared. Even the big economies are facing difficulties to manage their situation, and whereas Bangladesh, with the legacy of 17 years of misplanned investments and not having real country, pro-country planning, and that's where you have to, right now, it's almost like it's not really right to even ask you for long-term planning when you are managing the short-term crisis situation. So given that, I see that you have already taken the relevant plans to manage the immediate need of the country, but at the same time, maybe you have not noted the question. I actually want to start from the question that Aisha asked regarding the regional cooperation. I had a privilege of...
yes.
I had a
I'll answer you.
Yes, so I had the privilege of actually going to a study tour just 2 weeks back in ASEAN countries. So it was a South Asian Parliamentary Forum. We were invited to visit Singapore and Indonesia, and we actually had a visit in with the Ministry of Energy Environment in Singapore, as well as ASEAN office and Center of Energy in Indonesia, where we saw that how these countries are planning in terms of their independently, their energy plan for next 2050, even 2070, up to, and then the ASEAN regional cooperation. So given that South Asian countries, we do have a bit of balancing demand and need, as Aishapa mentioned about Nepal and Bhutan's capability. India has also a lot of solar capability. So how we can use that, and also being neighbor to the ASEAN countries. We are already part of BIPSS, so how we can also use the ASEAN connectivity to increase our efficiency in this level. So that's my question. Thank you so much.
Sorry, I forgot to answer this one, regional cooperation. The day I took over, I met with the Indian High Commissioner. And the Nepalese High Commissioner, I could not meet with Bhutanese High Commissioner, Ambassador. Nepal is not a problem. They want to sell around 400 megawatt of power to us. Bhutan, I could not talk with them. India, they are talking about their 3-country regional cooperation of electricity, Bhutan, Nepal, and India. Now we have proposed to them that, why 3, why not 4? If we have this 4-country regional electricity exchange program, then our cost of electricity will be slightly cheaper because they have got big hydros. And we are stuck with this chicken neck. If we get involved, Indian involvement, then we can get rid of the chicken neck. Hopefully, it will improve by our power secretary at the moment is traveling to India. And this is one of the agenda, what she will discuss with them, and she is coming back tomorrow. I'll know what is the result of the discussion. And other country, we have been talking with China, and they cannot supply electricity, but they can facilitate us with their technology in our country. And you see, Burma, we have not explored Burma yet. But at one time there was a proposal that there should be a gas transmission line to India, and Bangladesh will be part of it. We may revive that again, so that we can have gas from Burma also. And another thing I forgot to tell you about this system loss. Due to the advice of the World Bank, we have gone for unbundling. And we have created a lot of distribution companies like DPDC, DESA, then NESCO, all these government-owned companies. The last government, they have taken very, very ambitious program. In one hand, all this utility is losing money, and the government is feeding them by subsidy. On the other hand, they have taken ambitious program for underground cable, 20,000 crore taka program in Dhanmondi. And with that, they also take a program of Twin Tower. If you go to Shahbag Hotel, Behind Shahbag, you will find that there is a tower. That belongs to DPDC. I don't know what I'm going to do with that building. And they have already finished 20,000 crore taka. And the underground cable they have laid, no duct. That put the cable under the earth, that's all. So if something goes wrong, then Dhanmondi will be without electricity for a long time. Because they'll have to find out the fault, where is the fault. Then they'll repair. If there was a duct, they could have easily do it. There is no duct on that. So that is how the money is wasted for last 17 years. I don't find the reason why they will have to go for Twin Tower. And that Twin Tower will have a cineplex, swimming pool, world-class gym. I don't understand why. Now this project, I cannot close because the money is gone already. And they are supposed to do, I think, 18 or 19 big substations. And that will be for the 2040. You see, the life of a substation is not more than 20 years. So by the time 2040 will come again, we have to change all those substations. And these substations are unused. This is one, and I give you another unique example. REB. Because REB was established by Dior Rahman, that's why they'll have to change the name. Now they have given the name Bangladesh Rural Election Board. And before it was REB, Rural Election Board, that's all. So they put Bangladesh because Dia gave REB. So I don't know who gave this brilliant idea. They had a lot of brilliant advisors. It became REB. They have ordered, REB deals with the rural people. They have ordered 5 lakh meter, smart meter. And 2.5 lakh meter already arrived. And 3 years, they could not use this meter because they could not synchronize the meter. And what they did, they have given another green signal to ship another 250,000 meter. And that is coming. So I wanted to scrap that program, but I could not because, it's on sea. If they go to the court, then they will win, I will lose. This is the state of affair of electricity in this my department, and every day I find new invention. Like today, I sat with the Padma Meghna Jamuna. Padma Meghna Jamuna headquarters is Chittagong. They make one multi-story building in Karun Bazar, 16-story multi-story building. Today I asked them, what you are going to do with this building? Your terms of reference is to sell oil. Your terms of reference is not to rent out the house. They have done it. I asked them, why you have gone for this thing? They replied that, we got order from ministry and we have gone for it. They have made a similar building in also Agrabad, because the headquarters is in Agrabad. The wastage of public money. What can be more than this? And another building in Poribag. Fortunately, they have done only a 4-story. It was also 16-story. I stopped it. I said, 4 stories is enough. So every corner, the government's money, the people's money was spent without calculating the return of the money. This is the financial condition of this department. So, it is taking chunk of my working hour to manage this thing. I think, you should know what happened last 17 years in this sector. This is one sector where they could quick money, they have made it. Now the country is suffering, the government is suffering. In Khulna, they made 2 power stations without arranging the energy. That 2 power stations is sitting idle, and I'm paying money, capacity charge. And if I talk to these investors, they tell me that this sovereign guarantee is my instrument to get the loan from the bank. If you negotiate this thing, then your rating of investment will go down. Then no bank will trust you. So tell me what I'll do. Very sad condition. But still we have to run the country. And we are trying hard so that we spend less money from the public pocket. Thank you. Yeah.
We'd also like to remember that this is one sector where the previous government had given immunity, so that no prosecution can be done for any of their work or any of the misdeeds that they had done. This is a sad story that we have inherited from the previous government. The next question is from Mr. Zahir, Channel 24.
I found President of BIPSS, General Muniruzzaman, both pragmatic and ambitious as well. Because when you were talking about ensuring energy security, and in course of time we are trying to achieve the energy sovereignty, that's very ambitious. It sounds very ambitious. Currently, the scenario we are experiencing, I thank the Honourable Minister for shooting all the troubles, because the global, we are also witnessing profound and huge, gigantic global shocks like wars, embargoes, maritime and shipping disruptions, oil price volatility. So in the given context, what are the measures, briefly, if you can enlighten us, what are the measures specifically you are taking to protect Bangladesh under the given circumstances, given situation?
Thank you. The next question is from Admiral. You wanted to ask? Okay.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister. Sir, actually, in my last 4 decades plus service, a major portion I have passed at sea, guarding the various seismic survey vessels and the efforts for the exploration at different times. Especially I remember in 1992-3, from that time when there was after the major bidding, the Cairn Energy and the Santos from Australia, they got the Sangu. Later, okay, at the end, it dried up. As you mentioned, last 16, 17 years, there have been hardly any efforts. But I was reading in the paper that 2-3 years back, there have been one major international bidding, but not a single tender was there. So now, 1 or 2 months back, you have started the process. So I just wonder, what was the problem that not a single international tender really was dropped? So was it because of the
that was the interim government, that's why.
Yeah, okay. Right, sir. And this time that, as you mentioned, the the tender is going to be floated. So are we hopeful that this time the certain amendments have been given and we'll be seeing a lot of participation? So just some light on that.
Thank you.
Offshore areas.
Next question is for Mr. Muniruzzaman, Dhaka Forum.
Thank you, Chair. Best wishes to our chief guest over here on the Twin Tower. I hope at least the swimming pool and the gym is open to the public. I think what we are talking about, all the sustainable programs, that's going to take a long...
it.
Congratulations, thank you. It's going to take a long time because any sustainable program actually, for it to actually get the benefit, it takes almost 5 to 6 years. As of now, like we are seeing many other countries doing some very quick innovation. I can give an example. I will not allow to elaborate, but one example is Indonesia, where they have done the blended mix of biodiesel. So they have already mixed into 50% now, and the stats shows that over the last 8 months, they have saved around 939 million. So we have representatives from the Indonesian embassy over here who probably can ratify the message. So I think such global cases where they've already got quick benefits perhaps can be implemented in Bangladesh. The biodiesel that they have done is very much suitable in Bangladesh context as well. The other bit is that if we can, Madam already talked about regional blocks, but can we be a bit more pragmatic in exploring regional blocks who can supply us quick LPG or LNG in moments of crisis as well? So again, giving a case study that Brunei has signed an energy security deal with Australia till 2035, if I'm not mistaken, that they will be...
Also Japan.
Also with Japan. So Malaysia...
We don't get shared, that's the problem.
So I think those things probably can be explored if that's in the jurisdiction. Thank you very much.
We will go back to the Honourable Minister for his response, but we have the Indonesian Ambassador, Her Excellency. If you want to say something, would you like to say something?
Actually, I try not to say anything.
Okay, all right. It's up to you.
Cool.
We also have representation from Brunei.
After the meeting.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you.
First is you. Your question was?
About the global shocks.
Shocks, yeah. Global shocks. You see, the global shock, it was a surprise for us. We just took over, and the war started. And the day the war started, I sat down with my people of the stock of energy. And I got shocked. So immediately we went for spot purchase. And we procure as much as possible. Initially we covered 1 month. And you have seen for the rumor, what can happen in Bangladesh. You have seen the queue of motorcycle and cars and others. I told them repeatedly that I have stock, don't worry. I'll manage it. And also I started giving in the newspaper my stock and my pipeline and the other thing. People did not believe. And I was telling my Prime Minister that, please increase the price. If you don't increase the price, this queue will never go. India has increased. Even America has increased by $5. Now, why don't you do it? Yeah. So at last, I said, this is impossible situation. Because of the price, there is a big line. We increase the price, you will see that line will go. So Prime Minister gave their consent. Still, he was, no, don't do this. This is to poor man, diesel price could not increase. So increase the price, and you saw how the queue of motorcycles and it diminishes. The problem is, we are trying to 3 months in energy security, but our storage capacity is not that much. So we have taken storage capacity in the fast track. I had meeting today with my all my utilities so that we can make more storage and keep energy for 3 months. And that is, I think, reasonable. But you know, to do this, there's a huge pressure on our reserve. I told you already we have spent $3.6 billion. So we need more $1 billion to make that reserve. But we have to do it. Energy, without energy, country cannot move. So we have to do it. That is how we are managing our situation. When we don't have energy, we have to import it. So we are diversifying our energy procurement. We are tapping Indonesia, Malaysia, Australia, and also China, other countries also. And we believe we'll be able to do G2G contract with many countries so that we get steady supply of our energy. This is one step we have taken, and we are working on it. And second question was, you have second question? Biodiesel, yes. Biodiesel, day before yesterday, I think Thursday, I met with a Japanese company. They talked about it. We are considering this thing very seriously. And if we can get it, then our price also go down. So we are working on it. Any other question? Regional cooperation? Regional cooperation, first you start with the next door neighbor. So I'm trying with Nepal, Bhutan, and India. And if India says yes, then I think this regional cooperation will be very easy to do. And I hope the Indians will come forward to do this thing.
We'll take the next set of questions, and we have representation from the National Defence College at the rear.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, sir. I'm Brigadier General Omar from National Defence College, and I also convey our deepest thanks to the Honourable Minister. Sir, as we are also somehow exposed to the issue of this energy shock and what it has touches the economy of late because of the recent happenings in the Strait of Hormuz. And also we had the opportunity to, get the lecture from the eminent scholars in this field. And I really get scared when we see that we don't have a national coordinated committee to deal with comprehensively this national energy security. Because national security or the energy security is considered to be one of the top priority security for the country and the nation. And similarly, it is also evident in the global side as well. So to my humble question to the Honourable Minister, do we really feel the importance at this point of time to have a dedicated national committee to deal with this national energy security? And if so, when our government is going to make any things like that? Because I understand and I feel that as a normal citizen, energy is, the onus is all of us, to all of us. So everybody should know at least, what the government is doing or what the private sector is being capable of and how our energy security is going to be ensured for the next generation. So my humble submission to know from this forum. Thank you.
Thank you. Gentleman here, you wanted to ask a question. Also, please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. My name is Muniruzzaman. I'm working right now with the Rupur Nuclear Power Plant project, and I have been working in the energy sector for last 3 decades. while we are talking about diversifying the energy resources, we are not talking about coal. We all are aware about the enormous reserve of good quality coal in our northern districts of Bangladesh, and we have a very small mining enterprise and which is coming to its natural closure. But the 5 coal fields which confirmed more than 7 billion ton of quality coal, and there are several studies and that confirm that if we can ensure coal extraction that can secure 5,000 megawatts of electric energy for next 50 years. On the contrary, we have been importing about 20 million ton annually, and we have already installed capacity of nearly 8,000 megawatts. And we are totally dependent on the import sources, and that has been obstructed by several international and local impediments. So do we still consider to look into the development of our own coal, and what concrete measures we have been considering from our government part? Because we know the coal extraction initiated by the government, and you headed that part a couple of years back, and now again the opportunity came to your end, and we would be delighted to know if there is any concrete suggestions. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. The next question is from Mr. Mahbubur Rahman, CEO of HSBC Bank.
Sir, I've got 2 questions. The first one is about the refinery. I know that most of the national oil companies are more in control of the crude. Because we do not have an adequate refining capacity, we end up with most of our import being the refined ones. And that capacity of the refining capacity has been discussed for a long period of time, that we couldn't take material or effective decisions to go forward, keeping the future in mind. So is there anything brewing up under your leadership, and what is it? If it is something very classified and confidential, you don't have to answer.
No, nothing is classified.
The second thing is that the export sector is very vital for us, and we talk about our energy security for export. Maybe I'm just carving out the energy security for a specific sector. The export is very vital. It has got a multiplier impact in the economy, and it also ensures the foreign currency supplies. So there are 2 things coming out in the export. One is the wider energy security for the export sector. The other one is the more and more buyers are asking for a disclosure that how much their energy is now going to be from clean energy sources, meaning whether it's renewable. I will not put up the renewable being too much of a buzzword, but gradual transition in the direction of travel to be the energy, but as a renewable energy, that how much they are actually converting. If today is 10%, it could be next time a little higher. I think that disclosure is very inevitable in the largest market for Bangladesh being EU in general, that 50%. Yeah. If something that can be targeted for that export sector, because that is something that we have to ring fence, and it's very sacrosanct for us. Thank you, sir.
First question was from Brigadier, right? Yes. Yeah. We will go for that. That is very important for the national security also. So it is related with national security and this energy security. So we will go for that in future. This is my answer to your question. And second is coal. You see, we have got coal in Boropukuria. The problem is, we are now exploring our coal in tunnel. But now everybody opt for open pit. Last time we tried to go for open pit and there was a lot of thing happened. I visited last month Boropukuria and I was talking with the landowners. I was telling them that when people acquire land for the road, you don't say anything. Rather, you make buildings so that you get more money, acquisition money. Or any project, they procure land, they don't say anything. Only here, they are not allowing us to do the open pit. If we do the open pit, we can get at least 3,000–4,000 megawatt of power out of our pit. But whatever we are getting now, I think it is time for us to go for another new coal-fired plant in Boropukuria. So we have already taken a plan. The first one is very old now. We'll stop that one and dismantle that one and we'll put a new power station there. This is our plan. So definitely coal is now most cheap, but for environment, although there are technological improvements, still people say that the coal is not environment friendly. But for us, coal is the best option now. So we'll definitely go for coal. And refinery, I think you know that we have already we are also already going for 2 second refinery, and we have called invitation for the consultancy, and our fund is ready, and we believe that before our term is complete, we will be able to open our second refinery, and also third one we are planning. So we will go for third refinery, because that will, if we have refinery, if we can attract the investors, so more refinery gives more security of energy. So we are trying to go for that, and we have also third one we are planning to put in Para. The huge number of land is there. So this is our plan, we are working on it, and hopefully, and seriously working on it. We have our action plans. So refinery by end of 29, you will find a new refinery in Bangladesh. I'm pretty sure about that.
Thank you. This will be the last cluster of questions before you end. Mr. Amjad, you have the floor.
Thank you, Guru Bhai. Thank you, Mr. Minister.
He's a brain,
Very old energy.
I know him.
Thank you, Mr. Minister.
I know him when he had a lot of hair in his
I have 2 questions. Thank you, Mr. Minister. You are already declaring the National Renewable Energy Development Strategy. It is very good and comprehensive. You are targeting by 2030, you are generating 27,000 gigawatt of electricity from renewable source. And also that time our demand with 1,35,000 gigawatt hour. But the problem is that you are declaring the good policy for tax-free import of solar panel and other accessories as well as batteries. But NBR put 15% bet over it. Do you think Energy Ministry will take some step to remove the VAT on import on solar panels and other accessories? Number 1 question. Number 2, we all know our local production of gas is depleting. Every year we are losing 150 million cubic feet of gas. So right now our present grid supply is 1,600 million cubic feet, but we have some low-hanging fruit. In Satok, The expert says there is almost 1 to 2 TCF of gas reserve over there. Do you have any plan to go for quick exploration over there? And pipeline is there and you can add this gas very quickly to the national grid. And how do you think about the exploration on Chidong Hill tracks? There is some identified structure for this, and BIPSS cannot do it alone.
Chittagong Hill Trace, I will not reply. Problem. And Satak, we are already drilling there, and hope we will hit some gas there. And I forgot to respond, Mahbub. For renewable energy, we have made our plan 20% in these 5 years. So, although they say 30%, but we'll try our best to do 20% in our term. And I hope we'll be able to hit the target. The response I'm getting, I'm very hopeful that we'll be able to do this thing. This is reasonable. And the VAT, to attract the foreign investors and our investors, we have made only battery 5% and 5-year tax holiday, and frame and is zero tax. And I don't know why VAT is imposed. I'll take up with this finance minister. Don't worry, it will not be there. You know, export is our main backbone of economy. So we are also, I think you have seen that day our Prime Minister said that apart from garments, we are looking for other diversification so that, the base becomes big and export becomes more big. That is our next target.
Before we end, I recognize Professor Ezaz towards the end. Would you like to say something?
I generally get a lot of opportunity to speak on these matters. So I really came to listen to the minister in first hand, what he has to say. Well, I mean, most things have been covered, and there are, of course, questions and controversies with every issue that is generally raised. I just like to bring the issue of industry and what is happening to industries in the country right now. I don't know whether you are looking into it, that the kind of crisis they're going through. I mean, you have a problem in the energy sector which is also coming from the other sectors, which is a dollar problem always. And if you could actually go out and buy as much LNG as you wanted, then we could actually solve this problem. Or if industry could actually run their industries using LPG or something, they could solve this problem, but they can't. So I think that you have to go back and see how all these can be solved, and what measures that you can take. I think that we must realize one thing, that I think days of cheap gas is over in Bangladesh. If it is really true, if cheap gas is over, are we going to head towards now the days of gas is over? Almost, because if you don't find enough gas in our country, can Bangladeshi industries run on LPG or LNG? We have to answer that question. My suggestion is that we should really look deep into our industrial policy, what can be and what can't be, and how these can be supplied. The last point I want to make is that don't ignore energy efficiency, because at the end of the day, that is the savior, and pricing is very important. You mentioned it. I actually believe that pricing can solve many things, and I was not at all happy when I saw that the subsidy that you're giving for lifeline tariff. The lifeline tariff is already there, and if you increase the price of the other slabs, the lifeline tariff slab should have also increased. I mean, you didn't touch that because, of course, there are other views in the government and it becomes difficult. But, at the end of the day, you can't keep on subsidizing. This doesn't work. Thank you very much.
Actually, I take a lot of advices from Dr. Ejaz. The day I became minister, the second day I called him. And I requested him to, give me a suggestion how to run this thing. So, he's right. We have to look at this thing. But one thing we want to make energy security, but the problem is the facility. I cannot import, at a time more than 2 cargo because I don't have facility. I don't have pipeline. So we have to develop this thing. That's why we have targeted to go for another FSRO so that we can use next to winter and get it done. And also we are land-based LNG. We are also working on that. If we can do this thing by 2 years' time, then we can import lot and keep. It will be then good for our energy security. So let's hope that investors comes and invest in our country, and we take the facility, pay the facility. This is what we are doing now, and we are negotiating with a lot of people. And about the exploration, he asked me that whether the last time nobody came because it was the interim government, nobody trusted the government, nobody came. This time I personally taken interest to go to the big companies to invite them and come and see Bangladesh and explore our gas in offshore. So, we are trying. We are trying whatever possible venues are there. We are trying. Now it will depend how the others react, and we are very hopeful. And you see, it will be. I must mention here, our Prime Minister. We have seen his father. The way he worked, same way he is following, rather more serious about it. And he goes to minor details. And we have been discussing about the LNG terminals, FSRO yesterday. We had a long meeting last night, and we were looking how fast we can do it. But the problem is, FSRO, if we need clear to winter. Otherwise, we cannot set up these NLG terminals. Still, we are trying to rent out some FSRO, and again, if we rent FSRO boat, then we need pipeline, and there is a pipeline limitations. So we have to work out, but our target is in 2 years' time. We'll create facilities so that we can bring more LNG and supply this LNG to the industries, so industry can grow. That is our aim. I hope we'll be able to do it in the next 2 years' time. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. You've been extremely kind and generous with your time in answering multiple questions from the floor. I shall now turn back to Shafqat to give the concluding remarks and a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Chair. At the outset, let me begin by offering my own sincerest thanks to the Honourable Minister for his keynote address. I particularly appreciate, sir, the candor with which you approached the subject. You gave us a very realistic picture of where we stand, and you also laid out all the challenges, and I think I speak for everyone that we really appreciate it. Energy security today is an integral and perhaps a vital part of national security. The geopolitical realities of 2026, as I see it, are unforgiving. Conflict risk is no longer theoretical, it is priced directly into our energy. We are shifting from an era of protecting maritime choke points for fossil fuels to safeguarding the highly contested supply chains of the clean energy economy. The policy reality before us is stark. Renewable energy is no longer just a climate goal, it is the ultimate geopolitical hedge. But to achieve true energy security, we need aggressive prescriptive action. We require dual sourcing, regional partnerships, and robust inventories for critical minerals. No single geopolitical choke point can be allowed to paralyze our grid, and I think we have had sufficient discussion in this room about how we need to guard ourselves against critical dependencies. We need to treat grid resilience as a pillar of national defense. As electricity becomes the backbone of our economy, the infrastructure itself becomes a prime target. We need regulatory frameworks which aggressively incentivize localized resilient microgrids. And as a security think tank, we will be remiss if we don't talk about the next point, that as our new government crafts a national security strategy, we need to ensure that energy security is a very important pillar of it. Because let us remember that a cyber threat to a digitalized grid carries the exact same strategic gravity as a blockade of a major maritime strait. Our national security and defense has to look into our energy security vulnerabilities, and our forces have to adequately prepare for it. The energy transition is accelerating in a fiercely contested environment. The choices we codify today will dictate our strategic sovereignty against the geopolitical headwinds of our tomorrow. Once again, Honourable Minister, thank you for your kind remarks and sharing your perspective with us. And warm thanks to all our audience, and once again apologies because we had to start a bit late. Thank you again for being with us here today, and please join us for refreshments outside. Thank you.